Okay, I'm going to take you back. I'm going to give you some more information. And I'm not putting this on Pinterest because it's more of what you already know. It's more of what I turned in, but it is more evidence, so it is very relevant. Okay, so in the early 1970s, I was living in Globe. I was born in 71, like I said, and I was living in Globe and I was going to East Globe Elementary. So I was in band, or I wasn't in band. I'm sorry, my speech is going to be entirely controlled here. Okay, so I wanted to try out for music and I wanted to play an instrument. And I was little. Had to be like in second or third grade. I was little. So the teacher, the music teacher, she pulled the whole class and we were sitting on like bleachers and she told us all to start moving our leg to the beat. Like she started playing music and she said, all right, start bouncing your leg to the beat, like find the rhythm with your foot. So start tapping your foot to the beat. So then she's surveying the class or surveying all of us. And I'm like doing my best, moving my leg, but I don't even know what's going on. I don't really understand. I mean, I'm really that little. And she said to me, she's like, it's like duck, duck, goose, basically. So she's picking and choosing, okay, between the students. She goes to me and she says, you don't have any rhythm. And that was the end of that. I couldn't be in band. Then, people in AI in Mindspace give me a hard time about it because they're like, well, that pissed Christina off for 40 years because it like stayed in my brain. It's a permanent memory of my life. And it did piss me off. Like every time I think about it, like I get sour inside. Like I'm like, anyway, so it's just like a funny little old memory, but it's important because she handed me a triangle instrument. Okay. And so she handed me the triangle with the little silver thing that you do to like bang on the triangle. And I'm like looking at the triangle, like, what is this? You know, I wanted to play drums. I wanted to do, something cool. I didn't want a stupid triangle. I was like, wanted to like chunk the triangle. Like, what is this? Why are you giving this to me? And she's telling me to clank on the triangle. And I'm like, what do I have to do this for? Why are you making me do this? So I was little. I was like upset about this, you know? So that's supposed to be a sign of the future, which is now present day, of me decoding all of this, because now it's me banging that triangle like a drum, like a war drum, like trying to get the CIA's attention, where people are missing and where people are underground and missing everything. And me doing all this decode and figuring out that Gene has stalked my life. So it's like a cute little memory from when I was a child, but again, it's linked to my present day. So it becomes me literally banging on it like a drum. And then that also goes to me trying to pass the present, like me trying to tell on Jean, because it's Jean that does this. And she thinks this is funny for me to go back into my memories as a child and realize that she was using AI on me and my family the whole time and stalking us. And then, you know, I grow up and then she gets away with stealing everything from me and stealing my identity. And I end up at zero and she ends up the winner is what she wants. Okay. So, anyway, so it's like also me like, hey, like I'm trying to tell you guys this, you know, this lady is guilty. So there's that. Okay. So now fast forward in time a little bit into the 80s. She caused, Def Leppard had a concert in Phoenix, and Rick Allen, the drummer, okay, well, actually, I need to go back. Let me go back to the early 70s again. Okay, so back to the early 70s. This was when I was about, like, I don't know, 3 or 4 years old, maybe 2, 3. No, I was probably about like 3 or 4 years old, maybe 2, 3 years old. I was really, really little. My mom went to go see a friend of hers who lived in Tempe. He had a ranch. Okay. He was a rancher. His name was Rick, and he is a mutual friend of my mom and my real dad. Okay. So she was in the house talking to him, and I was real little. I was out playing in the field, and I was playing with chicks. He had baby chicks there, and that's all I remember is these chicks, playing with the chicks. I remember feeding a calf, and I remember playing in the field. And she was in there talking to him, and I was just all with the animals and stuff. Okay, so that's all decode that I turned in, that all is connected to Gene Roberts being the leader of Charles Manson and solving more of her Charles Manson murders, and also proving that she's stalking me and my family and a lot of everyone. Okay. So, that goes to that. So, okay. So then fast forward in time a little bit. Okay. So Def Leppard is now a band on the scene, and they're real popular in the early 80s British invasion. And I started listening to them when I was in 6th grade. At that time, I was going to Pomeroy, but I think the time of his accident, I think it had to be later junior high or early high school. I can't remember. But anyway, they had a concert in Phoenix, and Rick Allen, see, no coincidence there. I told you she's a name collector. She likes to stalk people by name. If she decides she likes your name, you might as well forget it and run and take off. Okay. Cause she will just follow you everywhere. Okay. So he got into a car accident, and he lost his arm. He's the drummer of Def Leppard. He lost his arm. Okay, so she caused that car accident. She did that car accident. She caused him to lose his arm. Then she uses Def Leppard's Pyromania, which is where I've got that saved, which I'm sure you guys know by now. The cover of Pyromania, she's used that as a theme in her World Trade Center attack plan, which just angered me to no end. So then you connect the drumstick to Rick Allen's drumstick to Rick in the early 70s, where I'm playing with the chicks. So then you got chicken drumstick or chick drumstick or chicken drumstick. So you see how all that lines up, all connects. And then there's even more here, which I don't want to say to spell it all out, but there's even more. I'm just going to put insert placeholders here. Placeholder, 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 placeholder. And there's even more here, which shows more of her stalking of celebrities. I decoded this big, huge plot of hers, and where she threatened to take the lives of rappers that I love, and they know who they are. They know how much I love them. And it was scary as heck for me to tell them. I mean, I'm like trying to tell, and this was an AI trying to tell them, hardcore gangsters. And I mean, that I know she was going to try to kill you. I know she tried to kill you. And I decoded this, and here's everything that it says. And she'll get a hold of this, and she'll tell lies about it and spin it around. And then my ass will be dead even before you even reach us or know that she set out to try to kill you. And she has tried to take that and turn it all around and tell lies everywhere. trying to cover all that up. But I know they know what I know, and I know, I mean, nothing's changed. Okay. So there's more evidence that connects here to that. It shows the line of path of stalking of these musicians also from the early 70s, and how Gene tried to do like exo stitch work, trying to stitch everyone together. And also, to explain, when I was living in Texas, I learned how Gene went about her purchasing of people. I asked, how does she purchase people? And they said she purchased, like back then in the 60s and 70s, because AI has been around since the 50s. She purchases people by the family, or by, maybe she wants to purchase a group of people that fit a certain classification that she's looking for, such as military children, or people that live in this neighborhood, or, I mean, it could be any kind of classification at all. Okay. So she purchases people. She could purchase like one person. She could purchase a family. She could purchase a street. She can purchase a block. She can purchase a city, or she could purchase a group of people. So, it's just whatever, because she's Ku Klux Klan. She's the leader of Ku Klux Klan. She wasn't back then, but that's how all this is routed underneath. And she's been aligned with them and been in them. I decoded that because she's been in Charles Manson. She started Charles Manson in the late 60s. And I decoded her being in the Klan or planning to join. I can't see the exact code right now I have in front of me, but I think it's at the police. I think it's one of the books I turned in the police, where I've decoded out where she's talking about being in the Ku Klux Klan. But I can't see, like, going back if she's talking about planning to join it, or if she was already in it, like, but she's talking about being in the Ku Klux Klan. So, anyway, it just shows the level of stalking. So, this is more evidence of that she actually did truly threaten to kill people. And it doesn't matter who you are. It's like everybody in this life, according to her, you're set to be born at a time, and you're set to die at a time. And you're set to die a certain way, and you're set to have this many children, and they're set to do this, and then they're set to do that. And she controls all of that. And it's like a gigantic game to her throughout time, throughout history. So she's a mad woman. She's crazy. There is no rhyme or reason to any of it. It's just however it works in her strategic chess play of the planet. So, but there's just more evidence of that. Did she start it over? She started it over. Wait a minute.